You've probably seen his montages and definitely heard his name. When you think of the champion Zed, this guy is your go-to. His name is LL Stylish. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing one of his Zed games in NA, and I'm just going to be analyzing what he does, how he reached Challenger in NA playing a lot of Zed, 1,400 games on his main, which is Challenger, and on his Smurf, another 300. So obviously a Zed fanatic. I don't think there's many other Zeds in the world who have played this many games, especially this season in Season 7. I think it's great. I've watched a lot of Apto VODs of Zed. I've actually played against the best Zed in Korea. So it's going to be great to watch his Zed play, kind of analyze it, try and convey to you guys what he does well. Maybe you guys can pick it up yourself. I definitely think with this new patch in the preseason with Electrocute, I mean, Zed is looking very spicy. Not many mages have a lot of armor, so today we're going to be watching a game from a couple of days ago. Where was it? This game right here. 21, 5, and 9. It was a great game, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright boys, so heading into the game, I'm just going to show you the runes he's been using in the preseason. It's going to help you out a lot. So he goes for the Domination, Electrocute, Sudden Impact for Lethality, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter, and then for his secondary, he gets Nullifying Orb and Scorch. The Orb is great into APs who want to burst you out. Gives you a little bit of shield. It's kind of like a scuffed Hex Drinker, if you will. And then the Scorch just gives you a little bit more oomph during your laning phase and your skill shots, especially with your Electrocute. You're going to be bopping off some people at level 3 for the all-in combo. So starting out into a Gragas lane, it is kind of hard. Gragas' combo is insane, but if you can align it where you're hiding behind the minion line, it's kind of hard for Gragas to get the all-in unless he gets the flash on you. So starting off, he just wants to get these Qs. He's putting it into the wave, so he's making sure the Gragas can't push him in. I think I've played against one Gragas in lane, so I'm not too sure how this would play out. The creep wave just sitting in the middle. He's taking a little bit of harass, mainly from autoing and taking aggro from the minions. Gets to level 2 first, but Gragas retaliates very quickly. Now he goes for the E second. I think all great Zed players should know that if you're into a melee, E second is usually the best. Unless you're into, say you're playing into like a Jarvan or something where they're probably going to level 2 gank you maybe and you need the W to escape. The E is much better into melees because you can get the auto E Q off and you'll get the Electrocute or the Thunderlords back in the previous season, and it's just a great trade. Pretty hard to beat that out. Now Rek'Sai shows, I think he maybe one or two creeps off 3. I think he's gonna wait for level 3 on this creep. Yep. It should be a free kill if the Rek'Sai. Oh, I think he was a little bit impatient on that. He didn't need to die. If him and the Rek'Sai played that with a little bit more synergy, I think it would have worked out better, but I guess the Rek'Sai still gets a kill. It kind of sucks he blows both summoners. I think if he played that hiding behind the minion line better, the Grags probably couldn't have got the combo on him, but we'll see how he bounces back. Takes that tower shot. Very aggro. Very aggro laning phase. Very risky as well. Reminds me much more of the Korean Zed. He's a very lane aggressive Zed. Very roam heavy. Apto more so freeze, lane efficiency, just looking for the free kill pickups and not really taking risks. Lane's gonna shove back to him here. It's too big. You can't really freeze this lane at all. The Gragas can shove it if he likes. And then the all-in combo is pretty. Alright, so Rek'Sai comes back. This Rek'Sai is making Gragas have a bad time. Great gank, great follow-up. Kind of sucks that Zed hasn't got the kill here, but the XP advantage that he's building, it should amount to an advantage over Gragas where he can get the solo kill at level 6. That's all you really want. As long as you're hitting level 6 first into the Gragas matchup, and it's full AP Gragas. Now, as soon as you hit level 6, just all in. With your ultimate, save your W for the gap close when he E's away. It should be a free kill as long as you hit all your Qs. And you don't miss them. Probably going into the Duskblade first, guys. I mean, most Zeds right now, it's a Duskblade into Ghostblade, but sometimes you're going to need that Hex Drinker. So in this matchup, Gragas Eve, I always love to go Hex Drinker. So it's going to be interesting to see if it goes the Hex or just goes full damage. Because a majority of the time, if you're into an AP laner and an AP jungler, Having a Hex Drinker is just going to enable you to get the 1v2 outplays and survive a lot of their all-in combos. He has a lane in a really good spot. Without his summoners, he should just hold it. We'll see what he does. I'm not too sure what Gragas' clear's like. Just holding the wave here. He'll probably move up and try and deny. Don't push back into the Gragas now. Pretty quick. I think a couple of those Qs copped the minion wave, so it pushed it very quickly. Pink's bot side. I think most of the time as a mid laner, try and pink your bot side. Just so that when you're going for bot lane roams, which you should be going for more often than top lane roams, they don't have vision of you entering the river. He's level 6 here. We'll see if we go the all... He should go for the all-in. It's very free. Probably on the next combo, he'll go for it. Might want to land one more Q just to be safe. Gragas hit 6 as well. I want to see how he plays this all-in. Whenever you're going for these all-in combos, you have to respect the jungler. So if you all-in, right, and you W under tower, and then the Eve just pops up, you're dead. And you give any lane advantage you had over to the Gragas. So you have to be pretty cautious. I would say most of the time, you don't really want to go for it unless it's guaranteed. Quick in and out. Alright, it's done. Well played. The Gragas spaced horrendously. You really don't want to be spacing like that against a Zed with his W, with every single CD up. It doesn't really make sense, but he takes advantage of it. It's nice. He needs to shove this into the tower. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if this Eve tried to cop the freeze for the Gragas, so he got the wave. We'll see if he can push this into tower. You really want to here. Rek'Sai's playing really well. Shove, reset. Another wave incoming. A lot of things, like people get kills, right? I see in lower elos, people get kills, and they don't shove the wave in, or they don't set up a freeze to deny minions. You don't want to leave the wave in just a horrendous spot so that the enemy laner is going to come back and pick up a full wave. Because even though kills are great, you don't build massive XP advantages without denying minions. And that's one of the best, like the biggest things that great mid laners do. Like say the difference between Diamond and Challenger mid laners is their lane control and wave manipulation to deny enemy creeps. So he's got 11 CS advantage here. Gragas has gone for the stopwatch early. I mean, this stopwatch, people have been saying, does stopwatch count as Zed? I mean, it does count as Zed. Everybody can get an early hourglass. But the downfall is, once you've used it once, right? So Gragas uses this once, it's a 600 gold pit, money pit. So if that one all-in doesn't pay off, the stopwatch is actually doing him no favors at all and puts him at disadvantage. He could have went double cloth armor or something like that into a Tabi. Gragas roams, he goes for the hard shove. See what he does here. He could go for the top lane roam. It is a Taric into a Riven who's getting demolished. I'm always very cautious about ganking these lanes here because, I mean, 0-3 Taric, I have no idea what this guy's doing. It's obviously this Taric is pretty bad, so you kind of want to play it really slow. Maybe like let the Taric take all the hits and die first, and then just come in, clean up, get the shutdown gold. Alright, perfect. Gets the shutdown. That's beautiful. So he saw Gragas bot, right? He doesn't instantly roam. He pushes his wave in to deny the creeps. Then he does the roam. Did you see how he's played that roam very slow in the river, right? He made sure the Riven used all his cooldowns first, then moved in. He didn't just move straight in. He just waited. He looked at it. Looked what the Riven was doing until he dashed in and he had no escapes. Perfectly played. I think if you are playing Zed right now, guys, you always have to be looking at the scoreboard, looking for these stopwatches. It is insane how many times I've thought I've got it all in, and then some random support or someone has a stopwatch, and I go, what in the fuck is that? But, I mean, you've just got to be cautious. Always checking that scoreboard in the mid game. He's got the Duskblade, looking for the Snowball right now. This spike here is one of Zed's biggest spikes. Level 9, you'll have maxed out Q. If you ult, get a triple Q on, I mean, they're dead. Doesn't matter who they are at this point in the game. So he has the lead. I want to see how he influences the map with this lead now. I really haven't seen many mistakes this game. The only I mean, the only really mistakes is that early game where he didn't really need to die. And maybe a little bit of over-aggression, but he didn't really get punished for it, so it's great. He could have got punished for some of that early aggression, but other than that, wave control is great. Map movements are great. Liking it so far. It's actually very, very similar to the Korean Zed that I spectate. The Korean Zed's only Diamond 1 in Korea. He's solo killed a lot of pros, including Faker, on the Zed. The problem is for that Zed player, the Zed's always banned in Korea. It's banned more than half of the games. So imagine being a Zed, like a one-trick player, and then your main champion's banned half the games. Imagine how hard it is to climb. Surely in high elo, people ban out Stylish as Zed pretty often, especially as in Q. It'd be very annoying. Shoves out bot lane, goes down. First tower gold as well, I believe. Does he have flash? I can't quite see. Not yet. I mean, this is a free all-in. But the stopwatch, right? Yeah. Oh, that was such a good combo. W's back. Make sure he gets the all-in. Oh god, that's clean. You can just tell. That combo there was just so smooth that he has done that hundreds of times, you know? What is Grax doing? Perfectly executed. There was no counterplay to the Eve to kill him. Be interesting to see if he goes for the kill here. What about Airy? Now what boots will he go? Mercs would be nice against a Lulu polymorph. Lucidity boots also very clean. Gives you that cooldown reduction for the outplays. Misses that Q. Needs to play a little bit cautious here. Only Teemo support, so you never really want to overcommit. Look at his spacing. A lot of players there maybe go, okay, Teemo, let's do it, and they'll commit to the Teemo. Like Teemo, obviously, I don't know, Teemo support. He's going super aggro. Polymorph Riven gets a great flank on it. I think he may have had vision in the river there. May have had vision in the river there. He uses W pretty greedily. I don't know if he had the vision or not, but he falls for it. Grabs that the Lucidity boots and the Hex Drinker. Okay, so he did go for the Hex, like I said, into this double AP. The Gragas and the Eve. The problem I see is if he has no armor in the mid to late game against the Riven split pushing, he could run into lots of problems. So he's going to have to try and avoid the Riven, I guess. Unless he's confident. He has a level advantage on the Riven. He can probably still get the 1v1 if he plays it correctly. But one slight misstep or misplay and you'll lose the 1v1. Jumps into the side lane. As soon as this bot lane outer drops, guys, on Zed, on things like TF, Kassadin, these split pushes, jump into the long side lane, walk in, get vision. Perfect. This is what any good assassin should be doing, guys. You push in, then you go through the jungle and just look for picks. Look for the enemy to miss position. Because the lane's so long, it's very hard for them to escape. And this guy has his hourglass. We'll see. If he times this right, he can kill it. Just off. Just off. He does have to be cautious here. Chunking down the Krugs, getting that CS up, pumping that CS per minute up. There's nothing for him to really do on the map, so he's making use of his time very efficiently. He is quite chunked though, so he does have to back. We'll see if he goes... I want to see his itemization. Wait, this Riven has double cleaver. Disgusting cooldown abuser. cleaver. Jesus Christ. Some people have been telling me the cleaver build on Zed's good. But the problem with that is, like, cleaver late game, when you have all the cleavers, it's very nice, you're tanky, whatnot. But it's kind of like the opportunity cost. You're not getting the lethality and the AD early on to get the snowball happening. So you're not as strong until you actually hit that spike. So I don't really think it's efficient, the full Black Cleaver or cooldown reduction Zed build. Just because of the opportunity cost. Like, in the mid game, you're weak. And as Zed, you want to be strong and snowbally with your lethality, your double lethality items. But if you can make it through the mid to late, I mean, the build is pretty busted. You're very tanky with lots of AD. Ghostblade or more? Let's see what he goes for. Ghostblade. More lethality. More movement speed to get around the map. Maneuver around. Try and get some dives on. Playing Zed into Xayah and Lulu is actually really hard. That all in, because of the Xayah can ult, the Lulu can polymorph you. You have to be super cautious for that all in. It's much easier getting the 1v1 onto the Riven, even though he's ahead, than trying to 1v2 the Xayah Lulu, just because how much damage they can negate. Has the sweeper as well. Fucking hell, that's a lot of damage. They've got no CC to stop him. He's going for the sweeper. Now this is interesting. There's some split push assassins that like to go sweeper, and there's other that likes to stay on the trinket so they can get the vision out. Stylish has gone for the sweeper so that he can roam through the jungle and know he's undetected. Sweeper in synergy with the Duskblade, the vision. You can literally walk through the whole jungle and know exactly that they have no vision here, here, and here, and you can just sit there and look for picks, waiting for the enemy support or something to walk through. Here we go, finally. We get the 1v1 we've all been waiting for. Make sure to flash and get out quickly. The Eve is 3 levels behind, but the execute combo from the ult on Eve is pretty dangerous. He has to dodge out the charm. Eve combo is too much. She doesn't actually have that many items. She's going to be no problem in the mid to late game. We're already in the mid game, but late game Eve, unless she gets the hourglass, he's just going to absolutely decimate her. Side lane, side lane, side lane. Always look at the side lanes with farm. He looks at bot lane, right? There's a lot of farm bot. He passes there. There's no point in him going mid or top because he has to share XP. Has to share CS with his teammates. You never want to be sharing. Ooh. Very close. Sharing is not caring, guys. Sharing as a mid laner is dumb. You don't want to be sharing. You want to be taking XP and CS for yourself so that you get yourself a level and massive gold advantages over your opponent mid laner. If you go mid and path and share XP, the lane with 3 other... You share it with, say, Lucian and Teemo. You're splitting that into 3 rather than just 1 into yourself. That's why side lane is so good. Because while this Gragas is just fapping off in the mid lane in the river, sharing XP, he's in the side lane getting huge advantages. He's around about 8 CS per minute here. It's a pretty good spot for Zed, considering how much roaming he's been doing. He should be able to bump it up to 9, possibly 10, depending on how he side lanes. There's a massive wave top, he could go there now. Always be looking on the map where the farm is, okay? One of the most important things. Right, so he's gonna get the more third. Cleans up the fight there in the mid lane. Enemy team overextends pretty far, the bot lane. I mean, someone has to rotate top for that farm. He's going to give it to the Gauntlet Turret. Okay. Looking to flank across. Doesn't wait for the Teemo. Realizes that Teemo is absolutely useless. Doesn't have time to wait around for him. Fucking hell, that's... What is that health? Triple cleaver. Perfect combo. Ult saves the W. Perhaps his W is actually down from the top. It just came up. Still great though. He gets the CS in the top lane. He's approaching level 16. Which is just a massive spike. Obviously level 11, level 16 for Zed. Huge power spikes as you get the extra levels into your ultimate. Get it in here. Oh, we probably shouldn't take that W at all. The problem with some teams is, as a split pusher, they don't wait for you. So in that scenario, that team should wait for Stylish to push in that top lane wave, play it slow, get the jungle vision, then move in for the siege. Instead, his team is just prematuring, just going for the fight super early without the waves. Get the waves, then fight, because if you... So, he drops there. Probably... He cleans... Okay, Lucian clean. As I was saying, get the waves first, then fight, because if you ace without waves, it takes another 10-15 seconds to get the waves and shove for objectives. If you already have the waves and the vision, and then you move in for the fights, if you get a kill, it can mean an inhib push. Try and always revolve your plays around the waves. Always making sure, say before a Baron, before an objective, before a fight, get River, get mid lane priority, push that wave in. I see a lot of teams making the mistake of Barons coming up, and they never get mid lane priority, but if you watch a pro game, you always see the two teams dragging the waves, clearing it out, so nobody has mid lane priority, and you can't just rush down straight down mid. One of the best things in solo queue, you can deny a lot of XP and creeps by just shoving waves in, slow pushing. Not many people know about wave control, I'm not gonna lie. Bot lane's pushing in, top lane is pushing to them. They both need to be answered. Emo streams for the Baron. If he does go for the all-in, it's going to be hard. Just because he has a lucidity into a Lulu polymorph, he probably will die before he can even do anything. His Tarot top. I think I prefer him going around near the blue buff there and just looking for the flank. Pings his team off. As I said, this top lane wave had to have been answered. It's too much gold to give. Hits that level 16 spike off of it. Hard shoving. Probably shove one more and then look for the group. He's going to have Edge of Night soon as well. There's a couple of, like, Faker, LL Stylish. There's a couple of his Zeds that like to go Edge of Night. Go for the triple lethality rather than going for Black Cleaver. He goes for the Lucidity and Edge of Night. Other Zeds I've seen, they go for the Black Cleaver and they go for more defensive boots. But Stylish, more often than not, likes to go... Beautiful. More than often likes to go for Lucidity. Just to make sure that he can get that triple lethality into the mid lane, into the mid game. They do need to really start looking to close out. Later stages of the game, Xayah versus Lucian. I mean, if Xayah space it right, it can probably clean the teamfight. Just because Lucian's very short range. Until he gets a rapid fire cannon if he goes for it. Ops the Xayah. He can play this out very slow, he should be able to clean it. He's got the movement speed to chase. Ultimate's up as well. He has flash ult. Doesn't have any vision. Can't quite get the Gragas there. They really do need to set up the Baron, I think. Arik, oh man, chubby cheeks. They need to set up the Baron with pink wards. Control wards, sorry. I always say pink. I can never get out of my head. W's across there just to make sure that you can get the tower and peace out. So right now, in solo queue, just the whole team get control wards. Teemo set up the zone, and then they just look for the Baron. They bait it out. They start it, and they pull off and turn. The problem is, in solo queue, I mean, everybody's on different pages, and it's very hard to execute, but it is the right play. But, as I've always said, sometimes the right and the correct play in solo queue isn't the play you should go for. All the time, you gotta play around, you know, 4 other intermediate bots that you have no control over, and you have no idea what they're gonna do. They get the Baron rush. Lucian, Teemo. The Eve was down, so it's pretty obvious to go for it. Edge of Knight. Last item. The Last Whisper, a GA. I mean, they really don't have that much armor, I guess. They probably... I think a GA would be safer. Last Whisper, much more outplay potential. Lord Dominic's. Into the Riven. The Riven does have a lot of health. They do have a lot of armor, my bad. I just looked at the scoreboard. They've got GA, Hourglass, Dead Man's Eve. Riven's going into a GA. Last Whisper is much better for damage. What in the... What was that Eve doing? Look at... See that polymorph right there? If he had Mercs, that'd be half the time. His team cleans it. It's fine. He does the deeps and gets... I mean, sometimes on Zed, you've got to really lay down your life and put the deeps out and hope your team cleans. Because sometimes... it's hard for you to just wait for the... it's optimal for your team to engage first and the Zed to clean. But sometimes your team won't ever engage. And everybody sits back. They don't know your damage numbers. And you've just got to go in and make the move, be proactive, and hope they follow. Very clean game from him. I like it. Playing it slow, making sure to get the waves shoving. Bot lane's gonna shove in eventually. 3. 4v5. This will be the end here. It has to be. If they simply shove the wave in and then Zed rotates around, they have to back up. See here, it's not as it's hard for him to order the tower because you're melee. So if you just jump on the flank here and keep shoving off, they're pressured into backing off and just giving the tower anyway. It's much better. Great move by him. Pumps that up. I had to quickly change the game file there, guys, so you can't see the scoreboard for the remainder. He does that. He's 15 and 5. 17 and 5 actually. I'll see. He plays the team 5. Pops the W out. Waits for the Hourglass. Dragon Splash is out. Just hovering on that backside. Very slow and cautious. Not greedy at all. Waiting for the opportune time. He still has Zolt. Do you see there how he doesn't prematurely go in and just ult so he has nothing? He lets his team do the work. He sits on the outskirts waiting for all the cooldowns so that he can't get CC'd up. Then he goes, okay, I'm pulling the trigger right now, and goes for it. Because it's so much easier to execute that, and it's more reliable. Rather than going in first, you're probably going to get polymorph. He gets chain CC'd, Gragas knock up. Just plays it slow, smart. Waits for all the cooldowns. That's exactly how you should be playing Zed. Actually, great game by him. Pretty impressed, not gonna lie. Very clean. A couple of small mistakes. Probably in the early game by being a little bit too eager and greedy. I think he could have played that a little bit safer. Wave control was great. Movements was great. Combos perfect. mean, this guy and watching VODs of the best Zed in Korea, it's very hard to distinguish the two. They look very similar. Him and Apto are different, mainly because Apto plays the game much slower. He would have set up a freeze in lane and kind of just waited, denying more creeps and just playing a lot slower and I guess just safer. Pretty much the only way to put it. Stylish, more aggressive, looking for the combos, looking for the outplays. A couple of times that did cost him. He died for it, but he carried the game, moved around the map, and it was a great game. If you like this, guys, tell me who you want me to cover next. Whether it be any region, I'm happy to do it. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.